Let's get an update over in North Carolina. Steve Antel joins us to tell us what is happening in Fairview and beyond. Steve, good to talk with you again. I hope you're well.
Good to talk with you, Matt. I'll just give you just a brief update on the good news, and then we're going to have a discussion. And it's probably not going to be something that your listeners or you are going to be real thrilled with. So as far as what we've been doing what we've been doing. I've got a couple more trailers came in, courtesy of Mr. Long over at Meisler Trucking and B&W Trucking out of Burlington. They've just been fantastic. Like, I pick up the phone, and a trailer magically appears the next day. So we've been getting shelving in to get those organized so we can start doing distribution straight out of the back of the trucks. And all of that is happening over at Spring Mountain Operating Base, Spring Mountain Baptist Church. Still rounding up supplies. Had some more balloonists came in the last couple of days. We just picked up a bunch of stuff that I bought through them from our friends down in Atlanta and Debbie and Rick Farrell, and they just stopped by. And then Frank Stevenson, a balloonist out of Louisville, Kentucky, he drove down, Frankfort, Kentucky, I'm sorry. He drove down and dropped off a bunch of stuff the day before, so we're just rolling along. Donation money, whenever I get donation money comes in, I keep spending it on whatever we can't get through donations, and then whatever kind of infrastructure expenses we have to keep this thing going. I've got my friend Mike riding with me today. He's another hot air balloonist. He's here local. And say hi, Mike. Hi.
Hello, Mike.
Hello. So we're going to have a discussion, and I'm just going to tell you what I know, and I really don't want to say that it's bad or good. I'm just reporting the facts as they happen, and I'm not going to use specific names. So one of my forward operating bases that had been set up that was actually inside the sealed off area at the beginning, I've been servicing them since the road opened and I was allowed to go out there. And the people that were running that place were locals. Everything's been running smooth. I get the list. I go get the stuff, yada, 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 same old thing every day. We've been just rocking and rolling out there. A couple days ago, I pulled up. My normal person wasn't there. I asked where she was at. They said, well, she's not here right now. She went back to her regular job. I said, okay, well, who do I talk to? And a new fella was there, and he introduced himself, and I didn't know who he was. He was not local. And so I got his number, and he started sending me lists for the next day, and so a couple days went by. Well, yesterday evening I went out there to drop off my stuff, and finally my original depot manager out there, she was out there, and I had a talk with her. And the upshot of it is that these people that have come in, they are from the American Red Cross. They are hired. They are employees of the Red Cross, and they are taking over that operation out there. There's a lot of uneasiness. There's a lot of the next 24 to 48 hours we're going to kind of monitor and see what's going on, but that I know what I've just told you is absolute fact, because the guy, after I talked to her last night, I ran into the new guy right after that, and I nailed him down on it. And he said, yes, we are employed by them, by the Red Cross. So this is going to impact us a couple ways. One, obviously, we're from here, and the people that were running all of that are from here. And we've developed a relationship with the community, and they all know us. We know everybody's families, and these are people coming in from outside. I talked to another person that does the same exact thing that I'm doing up in a different area, up in the Burnsville, Spruce Pine area. And he told me they did the same thing with an operation up there, and then they stopped distributing supplies. In other words, they basically turned locals away when they needed stuff. I'm not going to let that happen here. But the best I can do is just stop supplying them with stuff and just take them off my list. And I hate to do that, and that's why I'm kind of waiting to see how this is going to play out. But last night I was really bothered by the whole thing. Yesterday was just a bad day all the way around. I had to watch the house that I used to live in, where we lived when my daughter was born. I had to watch it burn to the ground. I just happened to find it on fire. And so it was a bad day. I'll just say it was a bad day.
Hold on a second, Steve. I want to hear about last night, but I want to make sure that I understand you correctly. So you're saying that the local volunteers that have been kind of like yourself, that have been on the point of making sure that people who are in desperate need of supplies and donations or whatever it might be are getting them. Those people are being replaced by paid people from the American Red Cross, and they're kind of cutting.
At that one location.
Okay.
Yes. At that one location.
Okay.
But, I know how that, I know how the government operates, so I get it. I'm fascinated. So go ahead. I'm sorry I had to interrupt, but what about last night? Last night I was trying to figure out how this could happen. I understand that FEMA can do it. I understand. They're a federal agency. They got mandates. They got laws, regulations, Congress, the executive branch. They do whatever they're told to do, and they have the legal authority, just like other law enforcement or whatever agencies can come in and take stuff away from you at times. But I couldn't figure out the connection with the Red Cross, and then I was going through their website, and I'm just going to read this. This is exactly copied and pasted from the Red Cross's website. And it says, quote, "Unlike other congressionally chartered organizations, the Red Cross maintains a special relationship with the federal government. We have the legal status of a, quote, federal instrumentality, unquote, due to our charter requirements to carry out responsibilities delegated to us by the federal government." Now, that's how they're doing it. So, in my mind, when I read that, I see it as that they're an arm, they're a private entity, and they're good. I'm not bad-mouthing them. I'm just telling you, we're concerned. We've been doing this now for
what concerns me is the way that you describe it, in as much as they are taking, quote, over and shutting others down. I don't understand. I'm fine with the American Red Cross being a part of the relief effort, but they should be shutting nothing down. Nothing.
So 10 days ago, my daughter is a nurse, and you talked to her.
I did.
And she's a nurse with the county.
Is her name Megan? Was it Megan?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
She's a nurse with the local one of our counties here, and so they had a team of nurses that were sent to a shelter, and she was one of them. And they were working at the shelter, and the day that they were there, the same thing happened there. The Red Cross came in while they were all working and told them all, "Okay, you can leave now. We're taking this operation over." And our nurses left. Now, I mean, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying that actually occurred, and this is now occurring with this. So my concern is, one, where does this go? And my other concern is, then what are they going to do with our other places? And so then now we have to start to think, okay, how are we going to anticipate what's going to happen? And one last thing on this topic, what was so funny is that after I talked to her last night, I had to unload the stuff that I had brought out there, so I had to pull around back. And I was dropping the stuff off in the back parking lot, and the other guy, the new guy, was out there. He was on the phone with somebody, and he hung up, came over, he knows me, and he offered me a job. He said, "Can you send me a resume, because we think you'd be a good resource for us to," and I got, and I'm standing there. I just had this other conversation with my other person up in the top parking lot, and she was very upset about it. And she told me, "I'm going to check in with you tomorrow," meaning today, "because we're fixing to go in for a big meeting right now." As a matter of fact, I had gotten there just before this big meeting where it was all going to become official. So I haven't heard the results of that yet. But when I do, I will let you know.
I mean, please do. I mean, and all I can tell you, I'm such a contrarian. I would be right where you are, Steve. It would not sit well with me at all. This news. I mean, this takeover effort, especially on the back end. I mean, I'm not saying that there isn't going to be weeks and months and even years for some people to be kind of, get a semblance of normalcy back in their lives. But for them to come in on the back end and try to take over on the back end after you've done the grunt work, after others like you have done the grunt work, making sure that people who are in need are getting a helping hand, it's just, I don't know. I don't know what to make of all of that. That's bad. That's bad. It's bad anytime somebody, it's been my experience, Steve, anytime someone comes into a situation where people are in need and they tell people to shut down good work because they're now in charge, that is never a good thing. Ever. I mean,
well, we're gonna keep doing what we're doing, and the other people and my other locations have been made aware of what is going on out there, and we'll do whatever we need to do. I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing privately until I can't do it anymore, or until they put me in jail, which is fine. I'm not. Doesn't bother me.
I'd like to see them try that. I mean, I don't think that would go well for them.
But anyway, other than that,
let me ask you real quick. I've only got about a minute or two left, but I want to ask you this, Steve. I mean, and obviously, if you want to give Steve Antel is Antle, his Venmo is at Steve-Antel on Venmo. I trust Steve as the day is long. He's done such great work from the beginning. We've checked in with him with regularity. He's had so many people from our area come help, and we're just pleased to be able to talk with him. So can you cut through some of these conspiracy theories online about hundreds and hundreds of people dying, hundreds of bodies being stacked in refrigerated trailers? And I mean, I'm just getting a lot of these conspiracy theories, and I cannot corroborate any of them. The best numbers that I've gotten is that there have been about 100 deaths confirmed in North Carolina, and there are almost 100 people that are still missing. I understand that those are fluid numbers, but have you heard these rumors and conspiracy theories?
Oh, we heard, eventually. We heard everything after you all did, because the conspiracy theories are out there on the outside. We eventually, now that we got communication back, I've heard them, but I haven't seen any of that. They did have, like anything else, there's an element of truth to things. They did have refrigerated trucks on standby that the government had at the airport early on because they didn't know what was going to happen.
Right.
But it's not, it's not what's in.
I mean, and for me, and the reason that I bring any of this up is this situation is bad enough without making things up.
Yeah, no, Mike's nodding his head in agreement.
I mean,
it's bad enough. We don't.
I mean, people are dead. Homes are destroyed. Lives are destroyed. All material possessions are lost. It's bad enough what's happening without having to bat down some of these nonsensical theories. And I just wanted to speak to a man who's been on the ground from day one, from the moment that Hurricane Helene descended upon North Carolina, just to speak to you directly about it. Steve, if there's anything we can do, we're going to continue checking in. We're here for the long term, buddy.
Thoughts and prayers right now, because the funerals are starting. We had the first one yesterday, and we're going to have them almost every day going forward.
God bless you over there. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Steve. Y'all take care, okay?
Thank you.
All right. There's Steve Antel, who is frustrated with I mean, that's what happens, right? They come in, they take over, and they tell you to go home. Well, what do you mean go home? I am home, you jerks.